Here's my poem Belonging, written a few years ago. It refers to 20 years, I think probably nearer 25, 30 years now. It's about being in a place for quite a time, and as you change it, it changes you. Belonging. Some 20 years I must have cut this same patch of grass, partially tamed rough pasture, with its bumps and lumps, never a proper lawn. I must have mown and discarded enough grass to raise a small flock of sheep, if not a cow or two. Edge up close to the hole in the hedge, often patched but never mended, where that dog gets through. Dodge the branches, carefully up to and round the few remaining apple trees. There is a contentment to be had, sitting back to observe when the job is done. But I sense my real satisfaction is in the doing, the physicality, the process, and through the doing, being part of the place.
The only way round is through. This piece of carved stone came into our lives in the summer of 2001 at a pop-up sale of sculpture in the garden of a small suburban house near Hull. Recently I've tried, unsuccessfully, to track down the carver, but although I still have the receipt, the only thing I know about him is his name, Quentin Starling. I should like to tell him how important it has been, and still is, and I'm hopeful that in this strange world of ever-unfolding connections and coincidences, it may yet prove to be serendipitously possible. That it has survived almost 20 years and 5 house moves seems not far short of a miracle. This kind of slate is friable, and the surface is contoured. It doesn't take kindly to the chisel. It splits and flakes at any inadvertently sharp tap. As for the lettering, apprentices train for years to attain the level of skill required to set out and carve letters on a curve like this. I know that now, though I did not know it then. Nor did I know that the words are those of Robert Frost, who has been quoted more often than most poets and misquoted more than he deserves. Frost's words are carved here with confidence and individuality. The carver is someone who has taken the letters and set them free, giving them life and movement, respecting the shape of the stone, yet coaxing it to submit to his will. I marvel at the gradual softening and fluidity as the words prepare to disappear into the centre in that Alice through the looking-glass moment. In the years of our togetherness, money, though not love, never love, had often been in short supply. Self-employment, although it can be more exciting than the alternative, does not always confer financial security. We had been at the mercy of exchange rates, bank managers, and what is known as the market throughout our working lives. We had learned to be careful. Strange, then, that I have no recollection in this case of the kind of discussion which usually accompanied the prospect of expenditure on luxuries. I can only think that, as the Quakers say, it spoke to our condition. We were about to retire, having taken a few hard hits, and looking forward to a more peaceful time, free from the fickle demands of commerce. We had, I guess, taken the road less travelled, Frost again, and followed it through, and we had survived. Not unusual, that's how most of us live our lives, just getting through, but cause for celebration for us, nevertheless. Whatever the reason, it was clear to both of us that we were not leaving that garden without the piece of slate. Perhaps it had chosen us. So home it went, nestled in a cardboard fruit box filled with plastic bubbles. Unwrapped, it settled itself down amidst the grasses, where it gently but persistently broadcast its message over the hum of bees and the rasp of grasshoppers. When we moved house, the stone was the last thing to be put on the removal van, and the first to be taken off at the other end. It immediately and unfailingly found its place, seemingly without intervention by us, and there it sat, confident in its rightness, until we moved again. Of course, the road, less travelled or not, never ends. It winds into the future, bringing with it different challenges. There are more twists and turns. The bends get sharper, more difficult to negotiate. The last, necessary but unwelcome house move presented the greatest challenge, outstripping all previous challenges by miles. There was a relentless and unforgiving year, followed by a period of bone-numbing sorrow. Through all this time, the stone remained still and continued to chant its mantra. Sometimes it was gently encouraging. Yes, you're on the right road. Just carry on, and you'll get through. Sometimes sympathetic. I know, it's tough, but you've done it before. Occasionally, exasperated, the voice of my mother. How many times do I have to tell you? You'll be fine. Is it fanciful to count a piece of stone among one's friends? Certainly, in the snatched moments when I sought its company, it was calm and reassuring, constant in its beauty and the truth of its message, wise in its counsel. We are now in a new place, my stone and I. It sits in its chosen spot in the grass, where the morning sun catches the mellow gold of its message and warms the seat where I drink my first mug of tea. We start the day together.
During all this spare time we've had, we've managed to get a few jobs done, but some of them somehow never quite get accomplished. This is called eventually. For months you have been telling me that the bird bath is leaning and dribbles down the side. Thing is, it reminds me of that little medieval hotel in Pisa with the marble steps and bed with a convivial mattress. And you dropped your specs in the bidet. One morning you complained to the manager that the shower was cold. And he said, "Si, excuse. The hot water, he has to come a long way. Please be patient." Eventually, he arrives.
Midsummer. The night is light. Curtains float like clouds at the open window in gentle rhythm with the pane. A sudden cry, dawn chorus of surprise. You sob with shock at a sudden rush of air, fists clenched, indignant, tense and tight. In my arms, you're still, one eye closed against my breast. Wise and otherworldly, your one-eyed gaze meets mine, and the universe begins.